You didn't press no.
Oh my goodness me. Hello, welcome to Living the Life of Kylie, an eclectic mix podcast with your host Kylie Rhea. Thank you very much for joining me. I am joined today with Lily Mae Marshall. Lily is with me by my side. Many thanks, kind regards for joining. We thought that we would do a bit of a special on autism in ladies and, you know, just the impact that it does have on an individual. Lily Mae Marshall is autistic. Would you like to just explain how your story started?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it. Take it away.
So basically, when I was probably 14 or 15, I was under the children's mental health thingamabob, so CAMS.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was under CAMS. I was having to do some therapies and stuff for other mental health problems.
Okay.
And basically, the sort of psychiatrist that I was under, we had a meeting. She brought it up and she was like, "Do you think there's a chance you might be autistic?" And it wasn't something that I'd ever considered.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of information about that. If someone said to me, "Do you think you're autistic?" I'd be like, "Well, what does that mean?"
Yeah.
You know, what does that mean? So, what did that mean to you?
Well, it was sort of like I was a bit like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I know about autism because of family members that have it and such. But I was a bit like, this has never been something that's been brought up before. You know, I'd never really considered it. And then when we sort of were going through all the different criteria with her,
Yeah.
we were like, actually, I tick a lot of these boxes.
Wow.
And we were like, oh.
Is it like a light bulb moment? You go,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was like, it makes sense.
And from that moment, did they support you in getting a diagnosis, or was it just, we think you've got this, so we're just going to like make things a bit easier for you, but we can't diagnose you?
So basically, at that point, she was like, "We'll send you out some forms. We need you to fill them in. I had to get some teachers and stuff at school to fill them in." Actually, thinking about it, I think I was in year 12, so I was probably 16 at the time.
Okay, yeah. So you've still gone through your mainstream education,
Yeah.
autistic, undiagnosed, still just making it through.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That
I
is
had
so
to
good.
kind of I went to my psychology teacher, who was the head of like the SEN kind of lot at the school.
Okay.
Got her to fill in the bits and stuff. Sent it off really. Took ages for them to reply, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll sort out all the stuff." And yeah.
Right, okay. So then once you were diagnosed, you went into year 13 knowing, or did it take years?
Years.
So you started uni as diagnosed?
I still haven't been diagnosed.
Right.
Not properly.
So you still haven't had that formal diagnosis?
No,
Wow,
so I've
okay.
basically had the pre-diagnosis.
Yep.
But not the
full on. There you go.
I've been waiting for years now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there is such a strain on all of these, NHS and getting people diagnosed, because although we are getting older, there's still younger people coming through that are being diagnosed straight away with that immediacy. For me, it was always, with ADHD, it was the boys that were naughty in the class and and girls do get missed, and that's why it takes from the age of 36 to 38 typically for any woman to be diagnosed with ADHD, because we're so good at masking things. Are you finding that the same?
Yeah, I mask pretty much all the time. I don't it gets really tiring as well.
Oh, what does masking mean to you?
Do you know what? It's one of those things I don't fully know what masking is to me, because I've just lived my life doing it.
Yes.
But I guess it's just feeling like I'm having to show a different side of myself.
Is it always a positive side of yourself? No. An interesting side of yourself?
Yeah.
A side of yourself where you think, if I'm like this, then people will like me, but that's all good.
Yeah.
That's what I struggle to do, yeah.
I adapt myself with the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
The way that, I haven't had obviously the official diagnosis, but the way that the mental health team and my doctor and stuff have put it is that I am autistic. So I've had... Whoa!
You can shut up. Right, wait. Oh, technical difficulties here. Please hold the line. Please hold the line, caller. Oh my God, witchcraft. Right, right.
Are we back?
Continue.
Yes. So,
You little shit.
so like mental health team and doctors and stuff, we basically say that I have got autism.
Yep.
We just still waiting for that official diagnosis. Really, what that official diagnosis means is that I can get more help in terms of like NHS kind of more therapies and stuff. But, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not.
It doesn't change your life day to day,
No.
I suppose.
It's just allowing there to be more access for things.
But you're so self-aware, and I think that's probably part of the battle, is because you almost, if you don't have that self-awareness of yourself, you don't know how to go and find that way of self-soothing and self-understanding and self-validating and giving yourself the extra bit of kindness to know that, I mean, it's so difficult. I've started this medication, and I had my appointment last night, and I literally said to the woman, you know, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like that, and whatever else, but I don't know if that is the ADHD, the medication, or if it's me. I don't know who I am now. I don't know if I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling irritable because I'm annoyed with all of the clutter, or if it's just because I'm feeling a bit irritable. I've never had that understanding of the way that I feel from day to day, and that's quite new, obviously. But then it still doesn't help me understand why I'm feeling like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I get quite frustrated. What sort of things have you put in place, or have your family been able to put in place to give you that sort of reprieve from, look, I'm just masking all the time. I know I've got to go to this party. Don't want to go to this party. I feel all anxious and and you know, potentially socially at uni, you don't really want to go, but you know you have to go, and you force yourself, and really think, oh, this is just horrendous. But you're, hi, I'm Lily, and this is great, and I'm really good, and I'm having a great time. But really, you're inside going, I really just don't want to be here.
To be honest, I don't actually feel like there's been anything properly put in place. I think I just get on with it. Like, you know, if there's things I don't want to go to.
Yeah, I just, no thank you.
Yeah, either that or I just go and it's just like, I just have to deal with it, really.
Yeah.
I think as well with autism, like, you, obviously with ADHD, you have medications and stuff.
Yeah.
Autism, there's not a thing that exists.
Is there not?
There's no medication for autism.
Wow,
There's medication you can get for comorbidities. So, like, if you have autism and that causes things like anxiety and depression and stuff, obviously you've got antidepressants and things like that. But there's no actual set medication for people with autism.
Right, okay. Is that because there is such a wide spectrum? I know that is obviously something to consider, but, you know, can you... It's just so ridiculous. I was saying this last night on the phone. Can you be like a little bit ADHD, and can you be like severe? So I'm severely ADHD. My medication is not touching the sides, but of course, because I've got to be extra. But is there sort of something where you think, right, well, I'm on this level? Do they show you the spectrum? What's?
There's not a visual spectrum. It is just like. The spectrum is massive. There's nothing that, you know, there's not like a scale of 1 to 10 on how autistic you are. Yeah. Obviously, you have people with autism who are non-verbal or have like really severe learning disabilities and things like that. Yeah. So that's more on the high end of the spectrum, but there's nothing that's actually like a set scale. But
would they be? They would be more eligible for certain therapies and things like this, of course. But there isn't anything for people like yourselves who are fully functioning, but you know, it's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you were diagnosed at 16, say?
17-ish, I'd say.
16, 17. Yeah. Well, diagnosed, pre-diagnosed.
Yeah.
And then your mum has also recognised the certain trends and patterns relate to her as well. Mm-hmm. So how has she coped with that? Do you sort of like balance each other out? Can you both help each other in understanding and going, oh, that's why? And, you know, because has it helped having your mum there knowing?
Do you know what? It's difficult with me and her, because obviously you know how much I love my mum. Mm-hmm. I think we're just very different in that sort of sense. Like
different autism.
Yeah. The way her autism works with her, it's very different to with me. And you know, we have had times where we clash on things because we don't necessarily meet eye to eye with different things.
But also, that's you, and that's your mum, that's me,
Yeah,
and it's my mum, that's her and her mum, that's everyone.
Exactly,
You know, it's never going to be like that. But that's when, this is what I meant about how much of that is autism and how much of that is just you.
Yeah, true.
You know, so it is difficult. So you are working as the diversity welfare within your uni at the moment. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and how you see your role going forward within that?
Yeah, of course. So I've only really recently started doing it, but essentially what it's to do is to kind of promote the diversity within the student union. I'm planning on providing training within the different societies on how to be more diverse, how to adapt kind of the different societies. And I'm also someone that they can just talk to, really. Like, people in different societies, the kind of people who run them.
Yeah.
If they need any advice of anything, you know, I'm the person that they can come to with that.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So is this a role that, you know, you can have these transferable skills throughout the rest of your life, essentially. But this could be something that you really do hone in on. You're going to make such a difference to people's learning, education, life, you know, going forward.
Yeah, I think with my uni, we've got a disability team at the uni.
Okay.
And in some sense, they're good with different disabilities and stuff, with things like neurological disabilities, so autism, stuff like that. It's lacking a little bit. Okay. So
which is surprising for me, because there's so much more awareness now.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're waiting to keep up, you know? It's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, when I got to uni, they literally said to me, they were like, oh, we can offer you a mentor. And I was like, right, anything else? And they were like, no, that's it. Mentor. And I'm literally being forced every single week to go and sit in a room with a woman and talk about...
Oh, no, I hate that.
Like, last time I saw her, we spoke about what I was buying for, like, shopping and stuff. Oh. Yeah. Because I said to her, I was like, oh, I don't really know what to buy for shopping.
An avocado, a bit of pasta,
I don't know. Like, oh, we'll write a list out. And that's literally, you know, that's all the uni have provided for me, even though
help with your
on the
system
list. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Even though on the system it says that I have got autism, and I've also I've got approved disability, what's it called? Disability allowance, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got that approved.
Right.
I should have gotten all this stuff with that. Haven't received any of it.
Everything is just taking so long, isn't it? It really is. And I think once everyone does catch up, you'll be so far into the abyss of being a musical theatre star that you won't even need all of that anymore, you know? So, I mean, what would you say to someone who thinks that, A, they may be autistic? I mean, there's lots of information out there at the minute. You know, there's lots of things. Instagram is amazing for sort of connecting with people, and I'm constantly watching reels about ADHD, and they're just so funny and so relatable, but also it's actually not funny as well. Yeah. You know, so again, that's masking. You know, trying to make a joke of it all, and look how funny it is, and look how ridiculous my life is, when really it is actually a bit bloody ridiculous. But what would you say to someone who, A, thinks that they have autism, obviously go through the normal channels, but how to actually manage their day-to-day, and also, because I mean, you've managed all the way through your life, and you're only really starting on your autism journey now, you know, and also someone who may be a mum who may need to recognise that their children or their child may have sort of extra needs. What would you say to both of those different people?
I think for someone who thinks they might have autism, reach out to people, you know, talk to people that they trust, people that they kind of are friends with, family. Also, you know, there's so much out there research wise, like there's so many good charities and things about autism, and they've got loads of resources where you can read about it. And also, just, I know it's going to sound really obvious, but talk to your GP about it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they've got a duty of care. If you have these concerns, then you can talk to them, and they can make a referral for you. Okay. So that's what I'd say for people who think they have autism. Yeah. I'd say for parents, you know, if you are thinking that your child might have, you know, neurological issues and things like that, you know, it's always good to kind of talk to them quite openly about what they might be struggling with. You know, and I think there's a whole thing with, especially with ADHD as well. It's like kids with ADHD, people just think they're naughty.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And it's, you know, as a parent, being able to pick up on what actually is going on, you know, understanding that, oh, my child might be feeling really overwhelmed right now. There might be some noise or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
That's maybe why they're acting a bit funny. And instead of going like straight in like discipline it. Like,
you can't discipline. No. You can't discipline compliance and behaviour to someone that has got ADHD.
No.
I can speak of that firsthand in my own experience. Although I think that's where I've taught how to mask quite severely by being compliant. I mean, I've never been called compliant, but we'll just work with that one for the minute. But also, I'm now looking back, because of course ADHD can be genetic, of course. I think it actually may well be.
Same with autism as well.
Is it really? Right, well there we are. So then we've got generations behind us of people that have just had to, you know, cope, learn, mask, deal. But when it would be Arnie's birthday parties, I remember we threw him a 5th birthday party, and it was the first party that me and his dad were not together, and we did a big old party and everyone was there, families from both sides, and I've been planning it since blooming May, you know. It was spot on to the T, amazing superhero party, blah blah blah. And he got there and he was having none of it. He was just so overstimulated, and at that point I didn't recognise that was a thing. I was going, well, what's going on? What's going on? So then I said, right, well, take him outside, because I knew to sort of break the cycle.
Yeah.
And then he went out and he spent the whole of the party on the swings with Spider-Man.
Oh, bless
he had the best time. And I was in there blooming doing the birthday cake on my own. But it's been the same recurring thing year in, year out. When we had the camouflage party here, same thing happened. Wouldn't sing happy birthday. So it is that stimulation. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, I've got really bad sensory issues.
Right.
I've learnt to cope with them.
Is that a blend between the ADHD and the autism, or is it two different sensory issues? What do you think is...
I reckon they both fit in quite equally.
Right.
You know, my sensory issues, I'm really sensitive to loud noise and recurring noises as well. So if there's like a beat that's going on and on and on and
so
on and on.
The loud noise of when we just knocked off all of the computers a minute ago, that was not so good for you.
It startled me a bit. But it's fine, like, you know, I'm
like, oh my God! I don't really know how that happened, so sorry everyone. Thank you for still listening.
But it was like things like when I was a kid, things like parties and stuff, even like Arnie, even my own birthday parties, couldn't stand them.
Yeah. It's the focus, and then it's the attention, and it's the loud, and it's the noises, and it's the people, and it's the chaos, but then at the same time, Arnie always wants a party, you know? So it's until we get to that point, and I think because it gets built up. And built up and built up. I
think like one of my things, it's like when I was a kid, when I was in primary school, I have a really big thing with physical contact with people, and I've gotten a lot better with it, you know. I'm happy to have a little hug here and there. It's with certain people though, I'm a bit like, no. Yeah. And it's like that feeling, it makes you feel a bit sick in your stomach.
Your aunt is a bit like that, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She's like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Okay, don't touch me.
When I was a kid, when I was in primary, you know, kids would run up to you on the playground and they'd give you a hug. And I didn't know what to do. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm just going to stand here and look like a prat. And my dad, he's not going to watch this because he doesn't go on social media.
Oh, is it?
He...
Off the grid.
He used to take the mick out of it. He'd be like, you don't hug people. Like, why are you so awkward? And he used to make fun of it.
Okay.
And what's funny, actually, is that he doesn't believe that autism is actually a real thing.
Oh, that's a man thing.
So
Sorry, men that are watching out there. I'm currently on my high horse about people like this, denying disabilities, denying medication, denying anyone has asthma, denying anyone has a chest infection, denying anyone needs their inhalers, denying anyone has autism, denying anyone has ADHD.
Yeah, and we've had big arguments about it.
I'm not surprised.
And I remember we were in Blue Water, and I was getting really overwhelmed because it was really loud and it was really hot and it was really busy.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to sort of like prod me and like just be generally annoying, and I just turned around and I said to him really nicely, I said, Dad, I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. I didn't sleep well last night. Do you mind just stopping?
God, that's pretty mature for you to have been able to vocalise that. I think I would have gone...
And he took it personally. So we got into an argument. And
yeah, okay.
we were walking out to the car park because we both drove separately. And he just said under his breath, he was like, you don't have autism, that's not a real thing. And so I turned around to him and I just was like, what did you just say? And he said nothing. And I said, what you just said was really offensive.
Yeah.
If I was in a wheelchair and couldn't walk, you know, and someone said to me, oh, you can walk, it's just in your brain, it would be a different situation.
Because it's not visible.
No.
Wow, I'm sorry that happened.
No, that's all right.
It's almost like you're having to convince someone to understand you.
Yeah.
And go, no, this is me. And they're like, no, you're not. No, it is. It is,
it's quite funny, though. My mum and I are both convinced that he is autistic.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you're possibly not wrong. Maybe. But it's always the deniers.
Yeah.
The medical deniers drive me absolutely... I get quite angry about that.
He is like the epitome of like a hippie, like 50s, 60s hippie. He doesn't go to the doctors. He could like break his leg in half and he probably wouldn't go to hospital.
Well, then you can just say to him, you're fine.
Yeah.
You don't have a broken leg. No, it's fine. Because if you had a broken leg, you would have been diagnosed. Yeah. That's probably like his train of thought. But God, I'm sorry that you've had to go through that. Oh. But it probably makes you stronger. If one of the people that were meant to be closest to you has that reaction, anyone else's makes no difference, does it? Because you're like, well, water off a duck's back.
True that.
So, going forward in life, you are tell us again what it is you're doing. You're doing
I'm doing musical theatre at University of Chichester.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting. You also have an agent.
I have an agent.
So you've got solid representation for when you go and take on the world. Will you present yourself as someone that has autism? Like, would you be open to say, hi, my name's Lily May, I have autism, or is it something that you wait to be introduced to in a conversation? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what? It changes. It kind of depends on, you know, I've had auditions and stuff with different casting directors and it really depends on the sort of vibe you get off of them.
Okay.
The show that I'm doing at the moment in Brighton, the
Godspell was happening in July.
Yeah.
Yes.
The director of that, she's actually, quite a few of her kids have autism. Oh. So I haven't actually spoken to her about, you know, when you just don't really have time to. But, you know, that's an example of someone that I would feel comfortable talking about it around.
Well, someone that actually knows it and gets it and has that understanding. Yeah,
because, like, even though, you know, you shouldn't have to worry about it nowadays, but you do worry about people discriminating against you. And I wouldn't want something that, you know, I've been trying my whole life to kind of just get on with to stop me from being able to do a role that I know I'm perfectly capable of doing.
But it doesn't define you as an individual. I think this is the thing. I think this is why people sort of probably similar to your dad deny it, because they're like, well, no, you're not under this label.
Yeah.
But the label only makes up a part of you. You know, there's still so much more about that. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, parting words, Lily May Marshall. What would you say to future Lily? Because we said last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
We said last time. So we said last time it would be to little Lily. Now, going forward, because I think this is such a journey where you will go forward, sometimes you have to look back to see just how far you've come. Now, if you were my age, 27. What you could do is talk to Lily at the age of 35 and say, right, you're stood at this end. This is what you've gone through. I can see for you in the future that X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I would say to future me, I'd say keep being true to yourself and don't let anyone stop you.
Yes. Perfect.
Sorted.
Removing those barriers from life.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. Lily May Marshall, give me a high five. My name is Kylie Rhea. You have been listening to Living the Life of Kylie, an eclectic mix podcast. And I have been joined by Lily May Marshall, giving us a full-on account on autism. Thank you very much for joining, Lily May Marshall.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao, man.